Alright you guys, welcome back inside the shop for another video. We have a little bit of a tool review for you today because if you haven't been around the channel in a while or this is your first time tuning in, the shop got broken into about a month ago, right? So they completely trashed the place. They stole like $8,000 worth of tools. They stole my customer's car. A whole bunch of things happened. So I'll put a little clip of that right here. So when these guys broke in and stole this customer's vehicle, I was in the process of doing a detail. So they took out my good steamer, which was in the back of the car, and then ran over it when they exited the shop and stole the vehicle. So I thought this would be the perfect time to test out one of these mini steamers. These things are rebranded all over the place. You can get them on wish.com, you can get them on Alibaba. I got this one from Walmart. So we're gonna unbox this thing and see how well it works. First thing we gotta do is get this project out of here. I'm making a push bar, Mad Max style. We're making a push bar for the Mountaineer Mad Max style. So let's get this thing open. Again, this is a Dirt Devil from Walmart. I got a pocket knife in my pocket. Got some instructions, we'll throw those away. Looks like a little accessory box and the unit itself. And they gave us a cutesy little measuring cup. Oh, there's more accessories in the bottom. Give me my tools. Alright, we got this cutesy little measuring cup, and the top kind of has a funnel, which is nice, but this is my main concern, and we'll get into that in just a minute. Let's see if it fills it all the way. So I can add a little more. So it can take almost 2 of these little cups. Like I said, we only got 2 of these little cups in there, which may be concerning. So this is a very small little unit. Again, this one is branded Dirt Devil, but these things can be, you know, made by all sorts of companies and rebranded. I've seen them everywhere. It does have a really long cord, and it seems to be pretty sturdy, so that's nice. I like a long cord. So this guy right here, if I can do it one-handed, just twists on and off of the end of the nozzle, and there's some O-rings that hold it on there. You can see that. If you have this guy on there, this thing, I believe, well, I'm not sure, but it kind of has a little bit of twist to it, which is strange, because once this is on, you're not able to, you know, that doesn't really matter. And it looks like this big Willy attachment has the exact same kind of locking mechanism, so I don't really know quite yet why that is a thing. But water capacity might be an issue. Let's get some more of the adapters. So we'll pick these guys up here. You can see it did come with a decent amount of adapters. This is like a little bladed, so the steam would come out and you can scrape. Then a bunch of little different brush ends. These do wear out over time. And there's like a little concentrated tip, angled tip, which the majority of the time is what you're using when you're cleaning door panels, stuff like that. And then, yeah, these brushes are mostly the same, just little different shapes. So the steam would come out right here, and then you can scrub and stuff like that. So that could go on the end of either this guy or that guy. So I'm going to be using this tip here. You can see I got some other tools. So here's the misconception, and the reason that I believe people are dissatisfied with steamers in general, not just this little one, but my much nicer one that got wrecked, all those steamers, is because this is not a cure-all. You're not going to detail cars in 20 minutes with one of these things. You're still going to need a really good industrial cleaner. You're going to need some scrub brushes. You're going to need an extractor. You're going to need a vacuum. So let's get into showing you what we're going to test this on. All right, so we got this really filthy, dirty floor mat. You can see that. It's got road salt, grime, it's wet. This one is actually worn out. You can see where there's like fibers missing. Again, the steamer's not a miracle worker, but it's gonna loosen this stuff up. So we're gonna shop vac this off first, get all the big loose gravel and stuff like that off. Then we're gonna apply our industrial cleaner. We're gonna drill brush it, and then we will steam this thing. Of course it did. Crisis averted. Alright, so we got our little guy plugged in here. We're just going to wait for the indicator light to show us that we're ready and we have pressure built up and it's hot, and then we're going to get to steaming this nasty floor mat. Alright, our green light is on. Time for the Cleveland steamer, baby! We are good to keep using it. I got the extractor on standby. We'll talk about this in a minute. So some of this stuff, you guys, I'm gonna have to obviously do the work and then come back and explain to you what we did. So we put the chemical on there, we used the drill brush, we kind of worked that in. Sometimes I will take the extractor and just get the big stuff out right away, but what the steamer is gonna do is help kind of break down some of that grime and dirt that is in the mats. You can also sanitize with the steamer without using any chemicals, which is really cool. But first impressions, you can see that mat looks a lot cleaner than it did when we started. That's from one steam. And when you put your hand on it, it should be hot to the touch. It's gonna kind of ruffle up all of those fibers that have been matted down and kind of stuck down, giving it that gross kind of shiny look. So we're gonna do this process a few times. Like I said, you can already tell that it is a lot cleaner than it was, so Cleveland steamer for the win. Show you guys a quick little extractor dump here. Look at how filthy that is. It's always kind of satisfying. All right, let's go talk about this little guy. So do I like this Dirt Devil steamer? You can see it is nice and compact. It's not very big, so I like that about it. What I don't like, and I mentioned earlier in the video, is that it doesn't hold very much water. Just the footage that you saw there, which I would not turn that floor mat out that way, that was enough use of this thing to drain the tanks. So on the steamer that I was using for my business before it was vandalized and destroyed, it had wheels on it and you could cart it around. It had a much bigger tank capacity, meaning that I could use it a lot longer. I use steam for everything, for the carpets, for the seats, for the floor mats, for the door cards, anything in the interior. Headliners, steam is definitely a great tool. Again, I think that the problem is people think that the steam is like some sort of magic weapon for detailing and you don't have to use anything else. For $37, would I recommend this thing? I mean, you know, if you're just gonna clean your own car, sure. Mine was over $100 and it wasn't even the most expensive one you can get, obviously. You can spend lots of money on these steamers, but the wand attachment as well. So mine had a nice long cord, a nice long hose, and then the wand is what you carried around, and the tank with the wheels stayed outside of the vehicle. This like is the whole wand. So this thing is a little cumbersome and awkward, and then it's all hard plastic. So if you dropped this or stepped on it or ran it over when you're stealing a car, there's not gonna be anything left of this thing. But I think the biggest issue I have with this is just the tank capacity. You're gonna be constantly filling this thing. In comparison, you guys, when I am using my big steamer, I cannot get through a whole detail on one fill on the big tank, and there's just no way. You would never do that. So this thing, you're gonna be filling this 24 times while you're doing a full detail in a car. I couldn't even get through one floor mat without having to refill this thing, so you can imagine how that would translate to a whole car. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this little video unboxing the mini steamer. For 37 bucks, I think it has its purpose. You know, if you're a DIY, you're just gonna clean your own car once in a while, this thing's great. You have a spot stain to get rid of, something like that, go ahead, buy it. If you're gonna get into detailing cars as a business, I would not recommend one of these because it's too small. It's gonna be inefficient because you're constantly gonna be having to refill it and then wait for it to warm up. Thanks for watching this video, you guys. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, you can drop them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.